started. So hello everyone, my name is Becky and I'm with Scott Leroy Marketing. Today we are going to be doing our command overview. So we are just going to be talking about all things command, diving in and looking over those. I do want to give you a heads up. This is a lot of information in a very short amount of time. So if you have questions as we go through, please feel free to go ahead and drop them in the chat as we go through. I will do my best to get them answered in real time. And otherwise, I will save some time at the end for some questions. So I will make sure I get your questions answered, but feel free to drop those in the chat as we go through. I may have to save them for the end just for timing's sake. But I'm not ignoring you if you do drop them in there. We do have, after this recording is over, it will be available on our YouTube channel within 24 hours. You can go to our YouTube channel. I did drop that in the chat. It is Scott Leroy Marketing on YouTube. And so we can go to our YouTube channel. And when you are on our YouTube channel, we do recommend you looking under this videos tab. So you can either switch to the videos tab here, or you can click videos here. Either way, it's going to show our most recent video right here. So you will be able to see that. So within 24 hours, the most recent one on here will likely be our command overview, unless we also add some tip videos in there. So you can find those. If you are searching on our YouTube channel, we do just want to make sure that you are looking for that most recent video. Let me show you what this looks like. So if I search it, the first video that's going to pop up is from 3 months ago, and then 1 year ago, and our most recent one would be 12 days ago. So we just want to make sure we're looking for those most recent videos. Everything is changing all the time within command and the services that we offer at Scott Leroy Marketing. So we just want to make sure you're looking for those most recent videos so that you are up to date on what you are looking for, what you are finding. So the easiest way to do that is to go to the videos tab. But if you are searching, just make sure you're paying attention to those dates and seeing if you can find the most recent ones. Otherwise, things may look a little different when you are watching the video. So without any further ado, we are going to jump into command. When you are logging into command, it is agent.kw.com. And then when we get there, we're going to log in with our Keller Williams username logins. So important to note, your username is not case sensitive. Your password is. And if you are copying and pasting your password from somewhere, you want to make sure that you capture all of the information. Sometimes when you copy and paste things, especially if you're double clicking, it will drop some of the punctuation, or it will add a space to the beginning or the end. If there is a space anywhere in your password, it is going to give you an error saying that it is an incorrect password. So we just want to make sure we are paying attention to that, making sure we're entering that in correctly and not adding in any spaces. If you need to reset your password, you can click the Forgot Password button right here. It will send an email over to the recovery email you have on file. So you can enter that recovery email in. I'm sorry about that. You enter your username in and it will send the code over to your recovery email. You'll enter the code in and the password that you would like to change it to. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. If you are logging in for the first time or you're logging in on a new device, it may require you to send a verification code also over to your recovery email. Your recovery email is going to be most times going to be a personal non-KW email. They did just update those requirements a couple months ago. So they're now requiring personal non-KW emails as recovery emails. So if you do need to change that, we'll show you how to change that later. But if you are looking in your KW email and not seeing the recovery code, check your personal email just to make sure it didn't get sent over there. So now that we are in command, we are on our dashboard. Your dashboard may look a little different than mine because these are semi-customizable. So in order to customize it, we would click the Customize button in the top right corner. And we can select which widgets we want to see or not see, and then we can rearrange them in order of what's most important to us. For example, maybe sponsored events aren't that important to us. We want to, or product updates maybe aren't. So we want to drop those off to kind of minimize what's on our home screen. And then we can drag and drop what we have here. So we want the notepad at the top maybe, and maybe we want our tasks also at the top. We can drag them around and then we can click apply. And it is going to reset that for us how we have it laid out. It is important to note that the leads never contacted, recently active, birthdays, and anniversaries up at the top cannot be removed, adjusted, anything. They will look like this on your home screen. So we are going to dive right in. Again, I've had a bunch of people join since I said this, but this is a very fast-paced overview. I'm covering a lot of information in a fairly short amount of time. If you have questions as we go through, please drop them in the chat. I will do my best to answer them as we go through, and otherwise I may save them for the end just for the sake of time. Just keep that in mind. We do have videos on we have different classes on pretty much everything in Command. So if you are looking for something in specific, especially with these applets, which we'll get to in a little bit, we likely have a class on that as well. And you can ask questions or ask for the links to maybe archives of those, and I'm happy to share those as well. Otherwise, you can find those on our YouTube channel. So we're going to work our way across the top to get started. So the first thing we're going to see is command, and that is where we are currently. So that's going to be this home page right here that we were just editing. The next is going to be connect, and connect is kind of a good resource library for you. So they provide a bunch of resources, learning resources, training resources, things like that. So under learning home, it's going to break it down, continue learning. Those are going to be things that you probably already started and want to need to continue. And then the self-study courses, those are just some recommended ones. And then if you have any classes bookmarked, you'll be able to see those here. So this is just going to kind of give you an overview of what you have going on already in your learning. You can search in here. For example, Ignite is a class that is frequently run by market centers. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. And we're going to pull up this one. And we do already have it bookmarked. You'll see the bookmark is colored in on mine. If I remove the bookmark, then it'll be no bookmark. I'm going to go ahead and add that bookmark back. But you can purchase your course materials here, and you can copy the link. It'll give you a brief overview. Scroll down, you'll find some resource videos, generally for the teachers, facilitators of Ignite. You'll find the student manual, and then the instructor materials are going to be below as well. So that is a good example of searching on here. You can find it. It'll pull up a bunch of information. We can also go to My Learning, which is going to show us all of our bookmarks in here. So we'll see our bookmarks. Again, we'll see Continue Learning, which are those videos that we started and never quite finished. And then Completed Learning is going to be ones that we have finished. That way you can find them again if you would like. Now, under Browse All, it has it broken down by topics. So you can find KW University courses, Leadership Hub if you are in leadership, and listings and lead generation. So it's going to have a bunch of different topics and videos and a bunch of different things that'll help you with your business. So it's a great hub for learning. Now, I do want to quickly show you how you can find your KW logos and Market Center DBA logos. So those are going to be in Connect. They did just update this a couple of weeks ago. So I want to make sure that y'all know how to find this. But we can find it one of two ways. So either way, we're going to find it under Connect. And the first way, we can scroll all the way down. Almost all the way down. Let's see, where is it? And then you'll see this one that says Welcome New Associates. So you can scroll all the way down here and click New Associate Essentials. You can also search up at the top, New Associate, and it's going to pull up that same block just so that you can find it easily. Then we'll click New Associate Essentials, and it's going to bring us over here, and it's going to have some different brand assets for you. So the Red Label store, and where we want to go is this Logos and Branding section. So I'm going to click Logos and Branding. Give it a second to load. Alrighty, it doesn't want to work today. Well, you would find it here if it were working. It looks like the page is temporarily down, but you would find it right here. There will be a link. We do have a video, a short, like 2-3 minute video on our YouTube channel that shows you how to find it when the page is not down. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and head back to Connect. And one last thing I'm going to cover in Connect is going to be the Events tab. So on the left-hand side, you'll see a little calendar underneath the graduation cap. I'm going to click on that, and that is going to show the events that are available for you. So it will have different ones, whether they are your market center's events or different events in your region, things like that. It's just going to break it down for you, or if they're just Keller Williams events altogether, like Mega Leadership Camp or things like that. So you'll find those on here. It'll show what ones are available for you. You can break it down whether you want to split it, only show ones at your market center, or only show events that are KWRI events. Anything like that, you can filter by that. You can also filter by the event type, the price, the event date, the format, or the audience. So there's a bunch of different things you can filter it by. If you are not seeing anything in here, you might not see anything in here. It depends on if your market center has it uploaded. They might not all market centers utilize this. However, if they do utilize this, then you will see those events here. You can also create an event up at the top right corner, and we would do that, and it would say what office owns the event and things like that. You would go through there. I'm going to go back to the command home. And the next thing you're going to see on my screen, you probably won't see it on yours, is going to be Command MC. So Command MC is going to be for your market center's leadership team, staff. So that will be available on theirs. It's generally not going to be available on yours, just for most agents. But if you are in leadership and you have questions with Command MC, feel free to reach out to us. Our email is support@scottleroymarketing.com. We are always happy to help. I'm not going to dive into this just for the sake of time today. So moving across, we have the marketplace logo. So I have seen this changing a little bit. So if you don't see your marketplace logo, you will probably see it under your drop-down name right here. It looks like they are moving it, but I have seen that some people don't have it right here, and it's under their drop-down menu instead. So just something to keep in mind. If you're not seeing it here, you probably still have it. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. But the KW Marketplace, so KW was built, Command was built by agents for agents. And so they wanted to make it so that everything is in one place for you as much as possible. Everything is streamlined, kind of just communicating with each other. So Marketplace is going to have a bunch of different tech integrations that you can integrate to your commands to make your life easier. So you can find a bunch of different things. If you want to connect Twilio, that's how you would connect it here. And you can see your profile and your cart over here as well. So I'm going to go back over to command. And then the next is going to be the notification bell. So notifications are going to be any different notifications you see coming into command, whether that is opportunity feedback, you submitted something for compliance to your market center and they approved it, rejected it, one of those options left a comment for you. You'll see those in your notifications. You'll also see leads coming in from your website or wherever you have them coming in from. And so those will appear in your notifications. So under notifications, you can filter what is showing here. So if we want to see only opportunities, I'm going to switch to that. Currently, I don't have any unread notifications. Under opportunities, we'll also see our tasks in here and stuff like that. So I'm going to go back to all notifications. We can also see read notifications. So once we mark a notification as read, it will switch over to the read tab for up to 90 days. So if you're in unread, you can click mark all as read. You can click the 3 dots and mark it as read. Another option is to manage our settings. So we're going to click this settings cogwheel up here. And that is going to bring us to our settings where we can choose what notifications we are receiving based off of the different applets. So it'll be broken down. If you don't have Command MC, you will probably see some fewer applets showing up just because we have Command MC on ours. And so there's some more options for us to show notifications for. So just keep that in mind. Yours may look a tiny bit different, just depending on what applets you have available. So you would just click on that, and then you can choose whether they show up in your desktop app. You can remove them if they show up in your mobile app or your mobile as a push notification. The mobile app is a great resource for you just because you can get those notifications directly on your phone. So if you have a lead come through, that'll help you have immediate access to see that. I'm going to go back to home, and the next thing is going to be the drop-down menu under our name. I'm going to skip that just for a second so we can cover the question mark, and then I'll move back over. So the question mark in the top right corner, that is going to be a help and information tab. So the first option under that is guided tours. So that is going to kind of walk you through Command, a little similar to what we're doing today. It'll walk you through, kind of show you more what does what in depth. We also have Keller Williams University, and that is going to be a way for us to search, find a topic, search step-by-step instructions. It does seem, let's see here, may not work for me. So if you're still seeing this spinning, you can also click this square with the arrow pointing out of it, and it is going to bring you over to answers.kw.com, which is where this would pull those answers from. And you can search on here as well. It does look like there is something causing this to just keep spinning and not actually load anything. So if you're seeing that, just hit that square with the arrow pointing out, and it will bring you to answers.kw.com. And you can search for topics, step-by-step instructions on just about anything in Command. So then moving down this question mark one, let's hit the back arrow instead. Then we have chat with support. So if for any reason you need to reach out to KW support, you can do a live chat with them, and you would just click this chat with support. If it is outside of their business hours, it will have you leave a message for them, and otherwise it'll be a live chat where you can sit there and talk to them. The next option is post an idea. So I'm going to click on that, open it in a new tab. That's going to bring us to ideas.kw.com. So like I said earlier, Command was built by agents for agents, and KW is always looking for ways that they can improve Command for the agents. They want to make sure that it is as helpful to you, provides as much value as possible. So with that, they have the ideas.kw.com portal, which allows you to submit ideas for things you would like to see in Command, and it allows you to vote on other people's ideas. So if other people have posted an idea and it's something that you want to see show up as well as a feature, you can vote on that idea. The more votes, the more likely they are to look more closely at it. It just helps KWRI know what agents are looking for. So you can go vote on them, say how important it is, leave a comment explaining why it's important to you. So you can enter your idea, search here, and vote on ideas as well. So they do not necessarily everything that you post is going to be implemented. However, they do guarantee that they will look over every idea. So just something to keep in mind. It's a great resource for you. If you are looking for a feature that you are not seeing in Command, feel free to check that out. So now that we are there, we're going to look at these sparkles in the bottom right corner. The stars or sparkles, whatever you want to call them. If I click on that, it's going to open Quick, which is KW's AI. So it's kind of like a search bot sort of thing for you. So you can search, ask it questions, different prompts. You can ask questions about Command. You can ask questions about real estate in general. There's a bunch of different things you can ask it. You can also see your history here of questions you've asked previously. So that is another great resource for you. If you just have a quick question, that pun was not intended, but you can drop it here. So now we are going to circle back to the drop-down menu under our name. So the first thing we're going to look at is we see that we are under our personal account. This one, we are on a team, and so you will see a team account here. If you are not on a team, you will only see your personal account. However, if you are on a team, you can switch between the two accounts by clicking here. So you'll see which account you are currently in and which you can switch to if you have one. So then moving down, we have our referrals profile. The referrals profile is going to be what other agents are seeing when they are looking for referral agents in KW. So this is the information they're going to see. You can update your profile photo here. You can update all of this information. You would just click edit profile and it will pop up all of these things that you can edit. So that is our referrals profile. I'm going to go back. Then the next one is going to be my profile. My profile is going to be mostly an inward facing profile. It's considered your profile of record. So this is mostly going to be just inward facing for your market center and your account specifically. This generally will not show anywhere else. You can, that being said, if you want your profile to display on kw.com, you would just toggle this on or off right here. So then on this, we have our public facing information. So this is going to be your name, your profile photo, biography, languages, service areas, and things like that. And if we go down on the left-hand side under My KW, this is going to be more of the internal information. So the first thing it's going to show you is your KW email and your KW UID here. So you can find those here. Login credentials, this is where you can update your username. You can also reset your password, and this is where you'll find your recovery email. We talked about this a little bit when we were logging in. So if you are trying to reset your password, it's going to go to the email that you have right here. And if you are logging in on a new device or logging in for the first time, it's going to send a code to the email you have here. So just keep that in mind. If you need to update it, you can click the edit button here. If you can't access your account and it's not sending you a code, your Market Center leadership can help update that for you. So just keep that in mind. It is able to be changed. It cannot be changed to a KW email just for security reasons to make sure that you're not locked out of all of your accounts at once. So then scrolling down, sorry if I'm moving a little fast for you. So this one is going to be the drop-down menu under your name. Looks a little different here. I'll show you when I go back to the command home where we're going to this tab. But once we are under my profile, I'm under the My KW section. So then moving down, we also have the KW Communications email. KW Communications email is where you want to receive your official KW communications. It is important, especially for exporting contacts. I'm going to go over that a little bit when we move over to the contacts applet. However, this is where you would update that communications email. You would just click edit and you can update it there. Again, it's going to have your internal information, so your profit share information, sponsor, primary market center, things like that. So moving down, you'll see my affiliations on the left-hand side. The MLS listings, that's going to be if you have an MLS ID in there. If you are not seeing that, you'll want to reach out to your Market Center leadership so that they can get that added to your profile, because the MLS ID is going to help you when it comes to opportunities and listings, and especially listings on your website and things like that. So you want to make sure that MLS ID is in there. If you're not seeing it, we would recommend reaching out to your Market Center leadership. And then you'll see your Market Center on the left-hand side as well. You will likely only see one Market Center. We are in multiple, so you'll see that. But if you click on that, it'll show you your role in the Market Center. If you see administrative staff, it likely means that your license number has not been entered in. If you are an agent, you'll want it to say agent. So you'll want to reach out to your Market Center staff for that as well to make sure they get that added for you. So now I'm going to go back to my command home, and now I can show you where I found that. You're welcome, Alicia. So then under the drop-down menu, my profile is where I was just a second ago. So then moving down, we have settings. So under settings, you'll have your connected applications here. So this is where you can connect your DocuSign or your .loop. Most market centers use DocuSign currently, and only a few still use .loop. However, if you do have .loop, you can connect that here. If you're not seeing it, you may have to connect this through the KW Marketplace, which again is this storefront icon up at the top. So that is how you could connect your .loop if you're not seeing that option here. Moving down, we have Facebook and Instagram. Your Facebook and Instagram, keep in mind they do have to be business accounts. So you'll want to make sure you have them as business pages before you're able to connect them. We do have a class recording that you can find, building your social media, and that covers how you can create a business page and connect it through here. But you can click manage and you can manage the accounts you have connected. You can connect multiple accounts, and your Facebook and Instagram do have to be connected to each other in order to get your Instagram in here. So just keep that in mind. Moving down, we have Facebook's ad manager. So ads managers, they just recently moved over to the paid ads section. So you just click paid ad settings to go over there and adjust those settings. Scrolling down, you can connect your Twitter or X account right here. So we have seen that there are a couple of snags with this. We think they're updating it, but if you are seeing it spin or something like that, just let us know. We're happy to take a look at it for you. Moving down, we have Google Calendar, Gmail, and Office 365. So for each of these are going to connect directly to your Google or Office 365 accounts, especially with the Gmail and Office. Those are going to connect so that you can sync those interactions with your database. So if you have an email going back and forth with someone, it will show on that contacts timeline. Some of these are still being worked on by KWRI and haven't been fully released yet. So if you do run into any errors on those, again, please feel free to reach out to us, support@scottleroymarketing.com. We'd be happy to take a look at it and see if that's something that we are able to help with. Moving down, they don't do Twitter ads anymore, but you can still use social posts. And then once again, we are moving down and we have the command email. So each command account gets 5,000 free emails per month. So if you click manage, it'll show you how many you have used, what your email health status is. You want to make sure this is good. Generally, that changes if people are reporting you as spam or things like that. So just keep an eye on that. You want to make sure it says good. You can also change your sender name and the reply to email that it goes to through here, just so that people can see those. You can connect MailChimp and Twilio here. Twilio, you have to subscribe in the marketplace. So you would just click subscribe in marketplace. It's going to bring you over to that. And that will help you get those connected up and running. And we're going to keep moving. So on the left-hand side, we were just under general settings under the, actually we were under command settings. Sorry about that. Under general settings, we can check our default account. So if we are on a team, we can change which account we want to show when we log into command. I'm going to leave it at personal for mine, but if you want your team account to be the one that pulls up when you log in, you'll just switch that here. Notification preferences. We were just looking at this earlier when we looked at the notification bell and then that settings up in the top right corner. But you can also access it through here. Under command settings, we have applications, which is what this opened up to. We have our contact settings so that we can see our contact archive, contact tags, lead sources, things like that. So those are going to be the settings for each of those applets. Our opportunity settings, we can change those through here. There's a bunch of different settings you can play around with. I'm going to skip through most of these just because we are starting to run behind on time, so I just want to make sure we can get through everything. Next, we have Connect settings. And under Connect settings, we're going to see marketing profile. Unfortunately, there is currently a bug in Connect in the marketing profile settings. So if you pull it up and see that it is blank, it probably still has your information. A way that you can bypass this to make sure your information is in there is if you click global settings, click languages, and then I'm going to switch back to my marketing profile. For some reason, that makes my information populate. This is a bug. KWRI is currently working on it, so hopefully it will be fixed soon. But you can still view your information if you switch back and forth between those. So I'm going to walk you through this. So the marketing profile is going to be probably your most important profile that you'll want to make sure is updated for you. So this is going to be what populates to your agent site and to all of your marketing information, your emails you send through command, things like that, flyers that you create in command, stuff like that is going to be populating from your marketing profile. So we want to make sure that this is up to date with our information. Anything that has an asterisk next to it is going to be required. So they do require you to have a photo in here. It can be a KW logo. It can be your headshot if you have one. They do recommend 360 by 360 for the size. And that is important just because it can, if it's bigger than that, it can cause a broken image to appear sometimes, or if it's broke, sorry about that. It can also cut off parts of it, stretch it really funny, or top of your head, which nobody wants. So we just want to make sure it's 360 by 360, just because that will make sure it populates everywhere. Team logo. So the team logo is not a required field. We do highly recommend it just because, again, it can cause a broken image if there's not an image here. Especially with your emails. So it can show a broken image. If you don't have a team logo or your own logo, feel free to use a KW logo, a secondary headshot, anything like that, just to make sure that it doesn't show a broken image. It is not required. You don't have to have one, but just for the sake of it looking right, you might want to put one in there. Scrolling down, we can enter our first and last name. License number, entering in here. Again, license number is not a required field. The license number, if you do not have one entered in here, will cause an error with email campaigns. So you'll want to make sure that if you plan to send email campaigns, that you have a license number entered in here. Your professional job title, slogan, designations, credentials, you can enter those in here. Moving down, we have affiliations. So we can enter our military affiliations here. So if you are in active duty, reserves, you're a veteran, family, military spouse, National Guard, or if you're a supporter / patriot and you want that to show on your profile, you can select that here. Your biography, this is a required field, so you want to make sure you have something in here. This is going to populate again to your agent site. Mobile phone number, office phone number, you want those in there as well as an email address. Now, with the websites, I do want to point out that you want to make sure you have the full URL in here. And also, KW sites do not use www dot at the beginning of them. So if you entered in the www dot at the beginning, it is not going to cause that link to work properly, and people are going to get an error when they try to view your website. So just make sure you don't enter that in and you have the HTTPS at the beginning of it. That can make sure it populates properly for you. Your market center information through here, so your market center logo and the location information for your market center, you can enter that in here. And moving down, your legal footers, your compliance information. If you are not sure where to, what to put in here, if you need anything in here, I would highly recommend reaching out to your market center leadership. They are going to know the most up-to-date compliance guidelines for you, both with your state and local So we just want to make sure that we are staying compliant. So if you do need to enter a footer here, you can do that. Again, we'd recommend reaching out to your market center if you are not sure. Social media, you will want to enter the full link for your social media in here. You don't want to just enter your username or tagline or handle just because those will not populate properly. But if you have those full links in there, it will link it to your website. So you can enter all of those links in here to have those populate. You can also enter your Google Analytics ID here, and then you can click Save. So when you save it, we'll bring you back. And then Command MC settings. You may see this on yours, even if you do not have access to Command MC. But if you do have Command MC access, then you'll still be able to view these and adjust those settings. So now we're going to go back to our command home. And then we also have a section for command training. And that is, again, just going to be kind of more of a learning resource for you if you would like. And now we are going to move down the left-hand side. So the first thing we're going to look at is going to be this contacts applet. If you are not sure what each of these icons is, you can either hover over them and it will give the name of it beside it. You can also click the red square with the white KW in it, and it will expand that whole menu for you so that you can see what each one is. So the first thing we're going to look at is contacts. Again, we do have a class on pretty much everything over here. So I know I am flying through this and I'm going to be moving even quicker now. So please feel free to ask questions or check out our videos on each of these classes over here. So under contacts, we do have a couple options. So we can import our contacts. So if we click import, it is going to give us the option to download the template. And the template is going to make sure that your contacts import correctly. If you just import a CSV file, it can be kind of complicated with the making sure everything is mapping properly. But if you use this template, it should make sure that everything imports correctly. If you have questions or you have a file you want reformatted, please feel free to send that over to us. Again, our email is support@scottleroymarketing.com. Feel free to email that over to us. And we would be happy to reformat that for you and import it as well. Moving along, you can add an individual contact here. So if I click add contact, it's going to ask for their full name. So I am going to, we'll just say, you can add a relationship for the person if we would like. We can also add their email here. Phone number, their lead source. So whether you got that lead from another agent or it's from a certain website, you can scroll down and find whatever the lead source is. You can also create different lead sources. You can select from contacts if a contact is the specific lead source. You can mark them as lead or not. Do you see a question? Where are we importing our contacts from? If you are importing your contacts either from your phone, if you export it as a CSV file, maybe you have a database somewhere else. If you download that as a CSV or Excel file, then you can import it directly into Command. Again, you'd want to reformat that file. But you can import contacts as long as you can get it in a CSV form. You can pretty much import it from anywhere. So let's see here. Moving down, we can enter tags. So tags are going to help us be able to sort our contacts. So I can say the class tag. We'll just say, let's see, do we have a testing tag? Yeah, we do. So I can just say that. And we can say additional contact information. That's going to allow us to choose how they want to be contacted, enter additional information we may have for them. We can also enter their address in right here, and we can enter their social media here. Now under the About section, we can enter a lot of information. So their legal name, a description, birthday, home anniversary. Again, we can enter their relationship in here, as well as their company information. Now under custom, this is where it gets a little more fun, a little more personalizable. So you can enter, you know, their area of interest, favorite sports team, things you want to keep track of your clients. I can say add a custom field, and we can look through all of these. So we can say maybe we want to keep track of their favorite band or their favorite sports team. Sports team is already showing up, or favorite superhero, kids' names, things like that. There's a bunch of different ones that we can enter in here. We can also create a new one. Let's say do that and create a new field. Once we do that, we can enter in their favorite candy. We can just use this for whatever is useful for your business. So if maybe you want to do a great like gift at closing, things like that, you can enter that in so that you know and can keep track of all of that information in one. Then we can click create, and it's going to bring us directly to their contact. So we can edit that information with this pencil here. We can click the 3 dots and add them to a smart plan, change the account it's being worked out of, or archive the contact. We'll see the timeline. So this is going to show a summary of all of the interactions we've had with that client. We can enter in opportunities. So if we have an opportunity linked to it or a smart plan, we can see basically all of that information in here. And we have a notes section that we can enter in here. We can also add a neighborhood if we would like. There's a bunch of things that we can enter to our contacts. I'm going to go back over to the contacts, and then we have the 3 dots, and this is where you can export your contacts or check for duplicates. So if you are exporting your contacts, if you click on that, it is going to export it to your KW Communications email, which we talked about a little bit earlier. So if you export it, it's going to send a link over to your KW Communications email. You'll click on that link. It does expire within 24 hours, and then it will download your CSV file from there. We can also select multiple contacts at once, and we are going to see a hidden bulk action menu appear. Under that, there's a bunch of different things we can do. So we can add tags to all of these contacts at once, add all of them to a smart plan, archive all of them. We can also send emails. If we have Twilio connected, we can send a text message to all of them. There's a bunch of different things we can do through here. We can filter our contacts. Command is really great in that it has a lot of things that you can filter. For pretty much every applet, you have a bunch of filter options. So we can filter by tag, whether they're a lead or a contact. We can filter by lead source, neighborhood. There's a bunch of different things we can filter by through here. So just keep that in mind. That'll help you find groups of contacts that you may want to send mailers to, send an email to, things like that, so that you can find all of those contacts at once. A smart view is going to be how you're viewing those contacts. So we're currently viewing the class, which means that these filters are going to show up every time that we come into our contacts, just because we have that saved as a smart view. So if we changed our, let's say we'll just add that one. We say that, we can save the smart view changes because it's also going to show the contacts with that tag. I'm going to remove that. That's going to bring us back to here and back to our class smart view. We can also customize our columns so we can show what we want to on here. For example, I just added the favorite candy, so I can drag that over here, and it can show up first. So you can see it through there. You can save that as a smart view change, and you can change how you're viewing it or how many contacts you view at a time. Moving down on the left-hand side, we have our tasks applet. So our tasks are going to be different things that we assign generally to ourselves. So it can be reminders for us. So basically we're creating our own to-do list inside Command, and we can link it to specific contacts. We can set priority on them, set due dates. They can be created in smart plans so that it'll automatically be added to your command. If you go through, you can select multiple. It'll pull up another hidden action menu. So we can reschedule a bunch at a time. We can change the priority, or we can archive those. We can also mark them as complete individually through here. And we'll see our completed ones over here, any archived ones here. Again, we can filter those. So we can filter by when they were due, or we can filter priority level, the task type. There's, again, a bunch of different filters we can apply through here. If we click the three dots, we can edit that task, reschedule it, add a note, or archive it. So we are going to go ahead and move to smart plans. So smart plans are what we like to call a nice little set it and forget it type of plan. So you can have it automatically emailing your clients for you. You just have to set it up, add your client to it, and it will keep track of the timeline for you. You can change the duration of it. So we have ones that last 30 days. We have ones that have 30 touches. So this means that the contact is reached 30 different times. So whether that is an email, a call, a text, something along those lines. This one actually is going to be a different task assigned to that agent every single time. So, but you can scroll through and you can see all the smart plans on here. If you have one that has an I next to it, that means that those contacts, you have that number of contacts on that smart plan. We can also select the arrow beside it and see what the steps are. We can also add a contact to it from here, edit it, or click that, and we can copy it, publish it to the library, or delete the smart plan. So you can choose to publish them, let other agents find them, or keep them just for yourself. If you go to the library, it's going to show you all of the published smart plans. So you'll see featured ones, the Keller Williams ones. So these are going to be great. They're going to be generally the best ones, especially with the birthday and the home anniversary. So with the birthday and home anniversary, those are the two that we would recommend. Always make sure you use the Keller Williams ones because they are the only ones that are properly programmed to actually match the contact's birth date. Otherwise, if you add contacts to this, it might cause your agents to all get happy birthday emails or texts or whatever the contact is, all on the same day that is not their birthday. So I just want to make sure we would recommend always look for that Keller Williams version just because it's the one that will work. So there's also some other smart plans. So we can search by the smart plan name or the author name. So if I search for us under author name, you can find all of the smart plans that we've published. So we have our monthly newsletters. We also have our 30-day agent challenge. So there's a bunch of different things you can do here. You can view the steps and you can add the smart plan. Again, there are more filter options through here. You can filter by duration, touches, author, rating, things like that. I'm going to move down to referrals. So referrals is going to be how you find other agents for referrals and how other agents find you. So under your dashboard, you're going to see all of your referral network as well as pending referrals. Under my referrals, it'll show sent and received referrals. And the map, I do want to cover the map really quickly. The map is going to show you agents. So you can zoom in. Just trying to find a place where I know there will be agents. There we go. So once you zoom in enough, it's going to show you the agents in that area. So without changing anything, it's going to be filtering agents by production. So if it's only going to show agents that have had production in the past 12 months. So if you're not seeing yourself on here, maybe you're a new agent, and you're not seeing yourself on here, you may not have closed any deals yet. So that would be why you aren't showing there. However, you can change that. So if you click this drop down menu, you can change to market centers, and it'll show you all the agents in that market center that you are zoomed in on. So anyone in that area, all the agents are going to show here. We can also filter by your network and find where the agents that you are in network with. And we can also search referral patterns. So the referral patterns is pretty cool. It's going to show you where people are moving from and where they are moving to. So maybe you'll find where you want to have a referral partner. You can change that center point. So if you want to show where people are moving from, we'll just say, because we were just zoomed in there. It'll show you where people are generally moving, and it'll be filtered. So the top one is going to be sorted by the number of referrals, the percent of referrals in command. So the first one is going to be renode to Las Vegas. And then as you scroll down, you'll find where people are generally moving from and to. So you can change where that center point is if you would like. It will probably be where your market center is generally where the center point is, but feel free to change that however you would like. Under My Network, you're going to find the agents that you have in your referral network, and you can create a new referral through there. Under Opportunities, we have the opportunities is going to be how you send, it's going to be your transactions. So this is how you keep track of where you are at in each transaction, where you'll upload your documents for compliance, and where you'll make sure everything's uploaded so that you can get paid. So the first thing it's going to show is your opportunities pipelines. So you'll see each pipeline for listings, buyers, and leases on there. And then it'll show how many you have in each stage of the pipeline. So there's 1 in the active stage, 2 in the active stage under buyers, and so on. As a note, this closed section, if you see 0, it does reset every month after your market center has completed their transmittal or month-end close. So you'll see this reset every month. You can still find those opportunities by switching to the All Opportunities tab, but just something to keep in mind. Moving down to campaigns, this is going to be how you can create social post campaigns, direct mail campaigns, email campaigns, paid ads, things like that. So you can go to each of them and create a campaign. Emails, it's going to show you the recipients, the opens, the clicks, and all of your drafts or sent ones. So you can go look into that. We do, again, have a class on each of those. Actually, we have a class for each of those specifically. Now moving down to reports. The reports is going to kind of give you a breakdown of your database health. So this is going to show you where you can improve in your contacts. So 2% of our contacts have home anniversaries. So maybe we want to go and make sure we enter in our home anniversaries. So this is just going to show you where you are missing some information, how many contact percentage has that information in it. Your database activity is going to show you broken down how much you've reached out to people, how recently you've reached out to them. Moving over to reports, we can see our opportunities report, our database report, and our goals report through here. So that can just show us where we are at in those different pipelines, see what our potential income is, probable income, what commissions are, and that we can do year to date, month to date, or just last month. Goals, we can set goals for the year through here. So you just click goal settings and it will help you create one. You can see lead routing. So this is going to be for team. And then you can see your emails as well as texts and calls. See those statistics there. Moving down, we have designs. And designs is going to be how what you use to create a design for your email, for your social media posts, things like that. So you can create a new design. You can import a design through here. If you create a design, there's a great design library that helps provide some great stock images and KW logos and things like that. So you can click create design and go create one. Moving down to listings, it's going to show us our listings here. So you'll see if it's color exclusive or not. You can sync your MLS here, create a new listing, see some collections, or search for listings through here. And then we have websites. Websites are going to be your KW agent site. So again, you'll notice that this does not have a www dot at the beginning of it, but this is going to be your KW site link. You can edit your agent site. So if we click edit agent site and we click expert mode, that's going to take us to an editor where we can edit it. Let's see if it's loaded for me. Sometimes it takes a second to load. Sometimes I have to clear my cache for it to load. But that'll bring you to an expert editor where you can go adjust more things for your site. You can view your current website in your browser through here. On the left-hand side, you can add content. So you can add a blog post. You can go to the design studio and you can adjust your theme and your color theme and font. So you can adjust a lot of different things through here. And then you would just click publish once you were done. And then if we switch to settings up here at the top, this is going to be some more general settings for our website. So if we click edit my website, that's going to bring us to the expert mode that we were just trying to look at a second ago. But if we scroll down, this is where you can update your subdomain. So if you want to change what your KW website is, you can enter it here. If it's available, it will be automatically created for you once you click Save Changes. This is where you can find your KW app URL, so you can copy that and share it from there. If you're on a team, you'll see your team's referral links through here. Preferences, whether you want to show color home loans, color covered, or displaying some neighborhoods on your site. And then we have forced registration. So forced registration is going to let you control how many properties people are able to see when they are viewing your website. So if you want someone to be able to view as many properties as they want on your site before they're asked to register, you would just click unrestricted. Otherwise, you can limit it to 10, 2, or no property viewing at all. So once you change all of that, you do want to make sure you hit Save Changes, make sure it's all reflecting over to your website. There is also this Deactivate Site button. We do recommend that you make sure you are extra sure that you want to deactivate your site before you do that, because you will lose your information if you click Deactivate Site. So that is all I have for today. We're going to go ahead and stop the recording so I can take some questions. But if you are not sticking around for questions, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week.